With me is Juanita Pompano to talk to us about some kind of cool fruits that we can put in our backyard that you may not have heard about. Welcome back, Juanita.
Hey.
So what are some good ideas for some unusual fruits that we can put in our backyard?
Okay, well, I'm from South Florida, so I'm used to having a few more tropical fruit, and coming up to Central Florida, not everything's cold hardy. One of the things that we can actually do better here, though, is loquats. Loquats in South Florida, they all get fruit fly. And up here, I was amazed to find they don't get fruit fly. The problem up here, though, is loquats are all seedlings, the ones that are planted in landscapes, because they're a nice little landscape tree, but they're all seedlings.
And they have kind of big glossy leaves, so they have a nice growth habit,
yes,
right?
They have very nice big leaves, but the fruit size on a seedling is so small, they're really not that worthwhile eating, because there's big seeds inside. But if you get cultivars, and there are some long-established cultivars, Oliver and Champagne are both cultivars that have fruit about an ounce or so in size, that are much better than a seedling and really nice quality fruit.
So where's the best place to get these cultivars? Do you have to mail order them?
You'll probably have to mail order from a nursery that specializes in tropical fruit. And you can find out about the different cultivars on the University of Florida's Fruitscapes, and at the end I have a slide that tells you that website.
Great. So what else besides loquats? Or do loquats like sun, or do they like shade, first of all?
Well, most of these plants are going to like sun.
They're
going to be more
yes.
sun, yes. An avocado is one that a lot of people want to grow here.
Make your own guacamole.
Yes, yes. But a lot of avocados are not cold hardy here. There's two cultivars that are very nice quality that are cold hardy, are Brogdon and Winter Mexican. And the Brogdon is actually very nice. I have one growing in my yard. And because one of the things with avocados, it's hard to tell when it's ripe.
So how do you tell when one's
if they're
ripe?
always green, how do you tell when it's ripe? Well, the Brogdon starts to turn black, or blackish purple color.
I've seen
And
those.
as soon as it starts to turn that color, you can pick it and bring it in, and by the time it is fully black or purplish color, it's ready to go. And you can leave some on the tree, and so you can harvest them over a little bit larger period of time. But that's very handy. The Winter Mexican is green. It's a little bit later than the Brogdon, though. So if you have two, if you have the Brogdon, once you finish the Brogdon, then it's about the time the Winter Mexican will start to ripen up. And the Brogdon ripens mid-July to mid-September.
Just in time for football season and making guacamole.
Yep.
And you can actually freeze avocado pulp if you end up with a bunch of extra pulp. You can always mash it up and freeze it and then pull it out and thaw it out and make your guacamole, or even just put it on salads.
That's great, because I know with our avocado, we get a whole bunch all at one time, and we've given them away to neighbors and everything, but, and then we have nothing.
Exactly.
That's very good. Another idea is a kumquat. I know a lot of people are interested in growing citrus, but you don't want to have a big citrus. There's problems with growing citrus. There's all kinds of diseases. Kumquat is a really easy to grow small tree, so it's very nice. And it's actually one of the citrus that's eaten whole. You eat the skin and everything. Because usually I don't like citrus so well, even though I come from South Florida, because they're messy to peel. These, you just pop the whole thing in your mouth, and it's a really good sweet sour sensation.
We just had some of the first of the season this year, and we had one bag that was the sweeter and one that was the more sour.
Yes, Nagami is the most common. That's a little more sour, and the Mewa is a sweeter. And then there's a Centennial, which is like a variegated, it's an ornamental, more of an ornamental, but you can still eat the fruit too.
And the little known fact too is Pasco County, which is a neighboring county, is like the kumquat capital of the world. And in February, they always have the Kumquat Festival, complete with the kumquat queen and stuff. So always a fun weekend thing to do is to go to Pasco County in February to check out the Kumquat Festival.
Well, November through April you can harvest them, so they get a really nice long harvest period too. So that's a really nice little citrus that I think is not used as much as it could be. Especially for smaller yards, it's a really good citrus. Now, guavas. A lot of people are interested in growing guavas.
And there's some different varieties of them, right?
Yeah, most of the guavas we're used to in South Florida, tropical, they're not hardy here. But we do have the pineapple guava and the strawberry guava. Now, the pineapple guava is also called feijoa, or feijoa, depending on how you want to say it. And it makes a beautiful small tree, again, has beautiful bark. I've got a slide of it being used. That one I have, the strawberry guava I have in an archway from a garden. But the feijoa, a very nice small tree, kind of a silvery leaves. The flowers are very interesting. They have little fleshy petals that actually, you can eat the petals on the flowers as well. And birds will actually eat the petals too.
So you have to fight the birds for your flowers?
Yes, you do. And then the fruit is very nice, tangy, tart fruit. Now the strawberry guava is more like a miniature, regular tropical guava. And those have, again, very nice trees and very nice bark and small red fruit. They are a lot smaller than the kind of guavas that you grow in South Florida, but they're still a very nice guava fruit.
And you can make guava jelly out of guavas.
Yes, any of these fruits you can make really good. I mean, loquat pies are like peach pies in South Florida. They're wonderful. Avocado now I wouldn't make into a pie, but I've had some excellent wine made out of avocados. Kumquats, you can make marmalades and stuff like that. One other fruit I wanted to talk about was a mango. A lot of people want to grow mangoes up here, and it's too cold up here for mangoes. However, if you get a smaller variety of mango, you could put it in a large pot that you can wheel back and forth, into your garage.
Depends on how much you really want one.
Yeah, I tried one. I tried a coggshall is a variety. It has a very nice quality fruit that's kind of a smaller tree. They don't have dwarfing rootstocks in mangoes, so you have to go with cultivars that are kind of smaller. And I was recommended a coggshall. And I tried that out. I grew it in like a 30-gallon pot, and it wasn't so bad carting it back and forth to keep it warm, but actually having to irrigate it all the summer, winter long, it was difficult because in a pot, plants need a lot more water than they would if they were in the ground.
Right, I know a couple of years ago, actually last year before the bad freeze, we planted a lychee in our yard, and somebody told my husband that maybe, that they are pretty freeze sensitive, and we covered it. It was in the ground, we covered it and stuff, but we had really bad timing since they're sensitive, and we had a really bad winter. So now we're trying a starfruit, and we're not real sure how well that's going to do.
Well, now we have a starfruit, a carambola, at the Discovery Gardens in Tavares, but it is the whole area. That whole area is covered every winter with a tarp to at least, block the winds and keep it a little warmer in there. And they've managed to keep it alive.
And speaking of the Horticulture Learning Center, which is at the Lake County Extension Office in Tavares, we have a nice selection of tropical trees that people can come by and look at and see if they think that they would like that for their garden.
There are a lot of other small fruit type shrubby trees that would be wonderful for growing in this area.
Right, and the Horticulture Learning Center is open weekdays.
Yes.
From 9 to
4 weekdays.
And so they're always good to look at things before you plant them and decide if you think they're going to fit or if you can't decide.
And if you like the fruit. Because I like having a landscape where you could go out and graze.
Yes, I know. That is nice. What are we having for dessert? Oh, let's have avocados. And I also wanted to mention at our office, we have some, if they call me at our office, I do have a collection of some older recipes, because a lot of times when you have these fruits, it's like, what the heck do I make with them? So we have some of the recipes for some of the different things like guavas, and I can't remember what all I have. But
I know, jelly palm. That was one we worked with. I guess that's a kind of a tropical fruit too. But if you have a pindo palm or butea palm, they produce a fruit that you can make a very nice jelly from.
Right. So, as always, Lake County Extension and Sumter County Extension as well, we have a lot of kind of interesting resources for people.